Hello, gorgeous woman, and welcome to this exclusive and very special series of the Rebel Matriarch podcast, Mystics Unhinged. In this space, our beautiful mystics are coming forth and they are speaking unfiltered, unedited, uncensored truths that every woman needs to hear, especially you. So buckle up, get ready, and let's get started. Hello, gorgeous human beings, and welcome to the Rebel Matriarch podcast. My name is Samantha Sanford, and I am your host, and welcome to this very special edition of the Mystics Unhinged series with the beautiful Diana. And just before I hit record, we were having a conversation, and I was like, how do you like to be introduced? And she's like, well, that's an interesting question. And we were just diving into the whole concept of how we like to give ourselves labels and titles and really box ourselves in, as opposed to just showing up, being fully present, allowing our intuition to take us where we need to go, and just really enjoying the ride. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give you a title. I'm going to introduce you as a beautiful fourth mystic who's really powerful, really gifted, really woman-centered, really empowerment-centered, and you really bring together the gift of spirituality with humanity and allow us to have these really beautiful, grounded, expansive experiences. So I'm really, really honored to introduce you and bring you into the Mystics Unhinged series. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. So for all of us who don't really know you at all and don't understand what it is that you do, what your gifts are, who is Diana, and what are you doing in the world at the moment? That's really important.
Yeah. Ooh, I just love the way that question even lands. Can you feel the softness in that? Like versus the title rigidity, and the box that we need to. I feel like mystic itself is such a beautiful wave-free, no locked-in energy kind of
Fluid.
title enough to category enough to be like, we get the genre and let's just track where everything goes. So who am I? Yeah. I feel like one of the first things I want to say, which I have been catching myself saying a lot lately, maybe because of the political climate recently, more recently, and maybe eclipse energy, maybe just a combination of it all. But my deepest sense is that Diana, in terms of like purpose thread, life thread, why are you here? Why are you here? Why are you here? Really, why are you here? No, really, underneath that and underneath that, underneath that. I came here to love people. Like I really, if there's one thing I know to be true, when I track that back to childhood and when was I really experienced this just 360 full on zest for life and awe for life and joy for life, it was dancing in that realm, that privilege of you get to be the one who does this. You get to be the one that through your creations, through the way you relate to people, through whatever it is you do in life, you could be, slinging cappuccinos, or you could be working and climbing up some corporate ladder, but you still, that is your thread. Don't lose sight of that thread. So I think I want to start off by saying, Diana is here to love everybody. Like I really feel that is a very deep spiritual quest. And maybe I'm pointing to that now in this moment too. Because I feel like what you're wanting to create with your podcast and the whole matriarch empowerment theme, I'll be damned if underneath all of that isn't a very similar, if not exactly the same thread that says, I'm sick and tired of the bullshit. When the fuck do I just get to love everybody? Right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm just feeling the energetics on that come in and getting very loud. Yes. So I would say that, I would start there. And earlier in the week when I was thinking about us meeting, And I was thinking about the wild card discussion that you and I had. What would it look like if we threw a wild card in? And I was also thinking about, well, what does a non-traditional podcast even look like? You know, I mean, and we're so used to the classic hero story and the arc of it and just all of that. And then you and I, as we were chatting back and forth, we were talking about two themes, one being the matriarchal theme, right? And the initial theme being those threads of newsflash, everyone's intuitive, right? Come out wherever you are.
Don't tell people.
Fucking own it, right? Don't tell anybody, right? And I loved that. Yeah, we have some laughter. Exactly. Yeah. I love that because, well, for a couple of reasons, starting with, especially when I started working in the field, so to speak, which again, newsflash, we're always working in the field, guys. But when I was doing the activations and people would be, ooh, and ah, and how do you, and shh, I really tried to pop that special balloon lickety fucking split. Like, hold on. Everybody has access. You see it too. You may not be claiming to seeing it. You may have been conned out of the seeing it. But it's there and you have just as much access, different access, just as much. It's impossible not. And so I've gone through that debate over the years with people too, where, you know, some people really think, and people who do the work are like, no, that's not true. Some people don't have the portals open. And I'm like, bullshit.
Yes.
Not my experience anyway, right?
Yes.
So I think a big piece of, well, clearly empowering ourselves, empowering everyone we love, empowering ourselves to a bigger, better earth, a better way of living, right? Really empowering ourselves to ascend, for God's sake. Do the work we came here to do and be the humans and the souls unified, you know, in a way that we're really coming out of the deepest darkness patterns. And no sooner do I say that than I feel like we just keep doing this with those patterns. You know, you get to a depth of darkness and think, wow, I really thought that was as low as we could go. Right. And then life is like, oh no, we can go lower. Let me show you. Right. And so yeah. We're in this repatterning place where we're like, yeah, no, enough's enough. So I know I'm kind of going all over the place here.
Follow the thread.
Thank you. I say all that to come back to my heart really went boom, boom, boom. When I heard what you were saying that you may not have totally specifically been saying, which is why I kind of translated back to you, hey, I think what you're saying is y'all know you're into it. Like, let's stop telling the lie. Let's start telling the truth and then shaping it.
Yes.
Right. And then what does your life get to look like when you are doing that? Because I think we can also get lost in language, like, why aren't more women speaking up or, you know, and we get lost in these very base generalities, and there are infinite forms of speaking up. I know some incredible women who aren't speaking up, but their presence is such a fucking speak up that is, oh man, they just, whoa. They cleared eons of dark patterns just with that presence, right? And so for us not to get caught up in the specific way we think that has to take shape, because I think that's also one of the reasons why women don't own their intuition. Back to who is Diana, my experience as a kid, I was thinking, I felt like I hit something just before we came on the call. And I almost want to say, I want to frame it as, I literally, even as a kid, felt like being in a room with people that was just sprinkled with these huge pink elephants. And thinking, why is nobody talking about the goddamn pink elephants? Right? Yeah. And then through learning and growing up, we learned, ignore the pink elephants, don't talk about the pink elephants. Oh, God forbid, no one speaks to the pink elephants, right? And the pink elephants are truth. And the pink elephants are the exact breakthroughs we need and the truth we need to elevate and not continue to dive deeper with our existence in the shit show that be. And so my experience growing up, I had a reputation for being the girl who said everything everyone else was thinking, but didn't have the balls to say. Which, and I know you feel this because it showed up even in your initial message, whether you gave the words or not. And I think this was kind of maybe a kindred spirit thing that I felt with you, which was like, I'm tired of being the guy who's speaking up and like in front and the people are whispering behind. I'm so glad you said that. It's like, get up here, come up here with me. Right? What is that? Hide behind shit. And so to take that, I think into this moment, and just even into, I mean, I would also start by saying black sheep of the family, very traditional sort of job roles. Yeah, I was literally like, oh my God, what planet was I born into with this family that, of course, I deeply love, but I was definitely black sheep. And intuition wasn't even on the scale of understanding. And so to walk through life, especially in the early years, not really having the places to fit, and not having, I've often been jealous of people who can kind of morph, Actually, if you look at a lot of my astrology, if you were really deep into astrology, you'd probably be like, oh, you poor thing, you couldn't even bullshit it, could you? And it's like, no. It was literally like I get an electric shock or something, or the brain would go dead. And so it's not that I wouldn't have loved the option of the back door. I would have. Oh my God. But it wasn't even available. So in terms of, I feel like I want to dart now too, and keep this in tune with why don't more people kind of show up and just speak to their intuition, speak to what they truly know, speak to what they truly see, what they deeply feel, etc. I mean, we know just from the families we grew up in, number one, that was not what was taught. And number two, we were expected to really see the world through my eyes, was what was said but not said. See the world through my eyes. Desire what I want for you through my eyes, right?
Yes.
And
then you add in the fact checkers of the world now, and it's like, you can't have intuition. We got to fact check that first. And it's like, seriously, it's not a fact check moment.
Yeah. And I think for the intuitives who know, because I always had this thread early on when I would know something and I would tell somebody how something was playing out. And I don't mean from like that psychic sort of way. I really mean it more, I was seeing things, but I had no context for it. And then I couldn't even give words to it to people afterwards. So afterwards, people would be like, how'd you know that though? And I would literally try and go into my head. It was like trying to explain how I got a math problem right on a test, even though what I did was just, I memorized stuff. I never learned it to actually do well on the test. I memorized it. So then right? It's that, I don't really know a better way to say that. I'm sorry if that's discombobulated.
No, that makes sense. It makes sense, and also plays into my distrust of the education system. Yes.
Yes, that too.
We're not actually learning, we're just memorizing, and then as soon as you complete it, you're like, I don't know how I knew it. Now I can't remember how I got there.
Yeah, exactly. And we know now, I mean, my God, back when I was in school, I like to think it continues to get better and better. Things felt way more rigid when I was a kid, but even as a kid, very smart, and realized, why are we memorizing stuff? You get points for this, huh? And then what do I do with this? Like, what's, oh my God, when's this part of my life done? Oh,
Can I just come in here? Because I'm like, this is hilarious.
please.
And what would it have been like? What was it? What were the people around you like? How were they responding to you? Because were you always this funny? Because it's hilarious, right? And then you said that you can't help but speak the truth. So like, was it lonely for you growing up, or did you manage to find your people?
I would say twofold. Yeah, very twofold. I have a strong desire for like creating things together. Like I love that. I love jamming with people, right? I'm not your classic lead singer of the band, right? It's not, I'm not the guy who wants to, I just, and not that there's anything wrong with that for people who have that desire, right? It was just never my thing. I love intimacy. I love connecting with people. I love getting down and dirty. And I don't know, for whatever reason, I really came in with a very strong knowingness, a strong urge to initiate, to say what needs to be said, know what I know, speak it and express it. But I did, of course, learn that, whoa, that was big. Whoa, that was, and sometimes when you're vibrating at different frequencies, it's not so much that I'm right and anyone's wrong. Not even not so much. It's not that at all. It's, hey, we're vibrating at different frequencies. And of course, people are going to have their own understanding or appreciation for something versus what I do. But in the step up and like the intuition game, or even doing something outside the popular, I tend to call it vanilla. Nothing against vanilla. Everyone gets a little offended who loves vanilla. Like the flavor, I'm like, I'm not dissing vanilla. I just mean it, like the term, that's so vanilla.
Yeah.
Because I never really liked vanilla. I wanted a little bit of everything, and if I walk into a room and it's straight up vanilla, I'm not really interested, because vanilla to me actually feels quite unsafe. It feels like I'm in a room with a bunch of bombs that are ready to go off, because when I'm in a room with a bunch of lies, they're all bombs that are ready to go off. I don't really want to be part of the carnage of that. Unless I'm going into the room to be like, let's set these bombs off one by one. Let's go, you guys. We can do it. To that extent, that's definitely up my alley. So lonely, yes. Did you have the lonely? Did you feel
I was
that?
not lonely because I was the chameleon. So I adapted to everybody.
You're good. See, I sucked at that. See, I envy
but you know what?
that.
It's still struggle. I still struggle to speak my full authentic truth because of that experience. Whereas you expression, and I love that.
Yeah. And it's got its trade-offs, right? Because I don't know a ton of human design, and I wish I could be more articulate here, but I went down the bunny hole of that, like during COVID at some time. And one of my main numbers in the chart was like, yeah, it's a pretty fucking lonely road for you in this lifetime. Let me tell you, like, you're doing all of this stuff on your own. And the stretch was really wide too. And I was like, well, that sucks. Why did I even look at this human design? I mean, I was like, I already knew that. I didn't mean for it to be heavy at this point. But I'm also good at being alone. Like, so you and I have talked about Chiron, right? And Chiron healing, and just to speak briefly on that with the audience. I was telling Samantha that I'm obsessed with Chiron healing, at least just more recently, been really obsessed with it, because I kept seeing these different patterns in my clients. And I was like, God, I wonder where their Chiron is. I wonder what house it's in. I wonder what's going on with that. And I don't know a ton about astrology at all, full disclosure, but Chiron has always pulled me. And it's pulled me because right in there with my deep thread of just wanting to love everyone. To me, the only way to loving everyone is to really track the deepest wound and then support the deepest wound into becoming the deepest wisdom. Like, and it's really hard to love people who are deeply wounded and not loving themselves, because it's like, let me come love you. No, it's this ricochet energy off, right? So it's it's challenging. So I forget how I got to Chiron.
I have a question. Let's
Yeah,
keep going
please.
on Chiron. For those of us who don't know, including me, what is Chiron to start with?
What is Chiron? What? I just lost the tail end.
Yeah, just for those who don't understand what Chiron is, what is
it? It's just an aspect that would show up in your chart. I think at one point they thought it was an asteroid, but basically, Chiron marks the point in your chart when you were born, in your astrological chart when you were born, that it represents your deepest wounding, right? So it happens in a certain house and in a certain sign. And my pull and my attraction to Chiron is the whole story of what it really of what it represents. So it marks your deepest wounding so that you can look at your deepest wounding, because sometimes we're working on the more topical stuff and we haven't gotten to it, and then we're like, why do I keep spiraling? Why do I keep repeating this? Well, maybe I haven't gotten to the core. Oh, there's an idea. And then you kind of see the wound and you're like, oh shit, yeah, that really resonates. But to hold the deepest wound in a way where you realize it's actually your deepest power too. It's like, well, let's water that seed and let's water it again and let's water it again. Like, because all the information is in the so-called bad seed, right? It is. It's in that. And so then we get that. If you can hold it in a way where it's like, it's like turning the worst thing in your life, the seemingly worst thing in your life, the thing you would seemingly much prefer flushed down the toilet and never look at again. It's like, no, I'm going to call that back. I'm going to mark it as sacred, even though I don't see or know how that could even be so in this moment. And I'll be damned if this thing isn't going to be the motherfucking thing that strengthens me and that has me just radiating throughout all time and space in the highest ways possible. I want to be a living stream of awe. And boom, like claiming it. And then it's like, whoa, look at that wound. We got some work to do, right? And so, yeah, it's basically your deepest wound, and knowing that from your deepest wound, which you learn when you really work with Chiron. And I work with it with a couple of different quantum modalities that are just, yeah, it's just kind of become its own thing. But it brings you into the wisdom.
I love that.
I mean,
love that. So you talked about.
Well, we talked about yours briefly, because yours it's really about, mine's about, I got really lucky. Mine's about not having the right to exist. Like, totally foundational. Like, you don't even have the right to exist. Here, go work with that one this lifetime, Diana. Thanks.
Yeah.
And yours is a lot about being questioned for your thinking, for your thoughts. Do I have that right? Did I say that correct? And being misunderstood. Like, it's very voice, but for the audience to know, like, the really sexy thing about Samantha's too, like, it was so in line with the work that I saw her doing. And I was like, that's why I asked you. I reached out. I was like, I got to know what your fucking Chiron is. Let me go look it up. Right. And you're like, what is that even? And then when I saw it, I was like, this, because I think I was trying to figure out, you and I had never communicated before, but there was something so lovely and organic and soul, about your post inviting people. I was like, wow, this is a completely antithesis of the majority of energy online right now. I love this. Who is this woman? I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring. And then when I found out about your project and the lack of rigidity in it, I could tell that you were like, I want to create in the moment, and I want to do it with some women who might be practicing being unafraid with creating in the moment, or they're already unafraid with creating in the moment. And I want to cast this new spell out into the universe for being unafraid in the moment. Oh, there's a novel idea, right? Um, and so, yeah, that was just such a big part of the jazz for me.
That makes my heart so happy. Just the way that you explain that, I'm just like, that just brings so much joy to my heart, because it's you see things, right, and then you put language to it, that it just, the way you put language to it just makes my heart so full, and it's like, wow, she really gets it. Like, I didn't even fully get it. It was because I was being intuitive around it. It was like an intuitive hit, follow, prompt, prompt, prompt. I wasn't overthinking it. I knew that I could do this, and then you put words to it, and I'm like, oh my God, that's exactly it. And it's just feels really beautiful to land that. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And I love that. Yeah, no, I love that you say that. And I should also mention, most of the time when I'm really interacting, like, this is all like, and it's not that I don't take credit for my life, right? But like, as you were speaking about, oh, I love the way you put that on I'm literally reading your field. Like, I hear what you say, and then I hear everything that's not being said, and then I'm just back to you, you
Mm.
know? And
That's
see
a
the
really
movement you're
good tip.
even doing, like, with that.
Yes.
It's funny that you're doing that, because as you were speaking your gratitude a moment ago and being seen, I was just like, again, back to the energy of seeing the post. There was, to me, it felt like this call for, can we all just dance again? I'm beginning to forget what it's like to dance. That was really what I felt. So just when I saw you doing those natural movements, I was like, it's like the nervous system remembering what it was like to literally dance and know that every movement was beautiful, you know?
I do know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just feeling it at the moment. And
I know. Let's all just take a deep breath.
breath, guys, ladies, let's.
As much as I love the speed and the flow and the dance and there's like a lot of galloping, giddy up kind of fire horse energy, I feel too often when we're playing in the field like this. But I was just noticing, just in that energy buildup, it's like, I think something that's also an act, a revolutionary act is, or a wild card act for us on this podcast, right? It's like, and let's just be quiet for a minute and feel our strength in that, and the intimacy that we're creating together with that, where we just feel and see and be with each other. And it's way more than enough. Yeah. I feel like that's coming straight from your field too, Samantha. So, yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that. It's this beautiful dance that we get to co-create with each other. And you're right, it's missing that sisterhood, essentially, where no one's performing, nobody's asking of anything, nobody's being inauthentic. It's just being present with each other and just seeing each other and having these sorts of conversations where we're reflecting back to each other, whatever it is we're reflecting back, whether it's joy, whether it's excitement, whether it's frustration, anger, whatever it is, the full expression of humanity. And there's something so special about just this grounded calmness of community amongst women, where we get to just show up and just have these really beautiful conversations, and we get to walk away feeling connected to somebody else and also to ourselves, which it's just not part of our reality at the moment, which is, part of the whole matriarch, rebel matriarch, matriarchal community society mission I'm feeling called to, is that this is missing so much in our world.
So with that, I feel like I want to ask you a question, mostly just because it dropped into the field, and let it just be whatever it is in the moment. If you could fulfill the desire for your tribe, your people, your circle, to feel the way you'd love for them to feel in your presence, in your circle, in your creations, how do you want your people to feel? And it's not even just about, like, even about themselves, right? And about themselves because and when they're in your presence, and when they're in your circle, and when they're in your creations.
Mm. To be
Say that again.
To be seen. To be seen, like all of us, to be seen and witnessed and accepted.
Yeah.
And loved.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, the word I got just went into a wave. Allowed.
Mm. Mm.
You know, like just allowed, allowance.
Allowed. Yeah.
Yeah. And for us to, like, I almost feel like it could be a fun energy just to dip into, like, you know, can you remember the moment before somebody sold you on the concept of allowed versus disallowed? Like, who were you before you understood the concept allowed or disallowed?
Who was I? I personally was a shell of myself. I don't know who I was. Like when I look back on the woman who had no permission and was not allowed to exist other than the way that she was instructed to exist, I wasn't anybody. I wasn't anybody. I was literally the chameleon. I was whoever I was, whatever they wanted me to be.
Yeah. And so, I mean, before that, so imagine being born in this moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful moment. You open your eyes and you're taking in just all this light and information. You're this beautiful baby. And you don't know you've been born into this dual reality. You don't know there's a right or wrong. You don't know the concept allowed, not allowed.
Mm.
That's what I mean. Can we tap into the energy of who
Mm.
were we before the distinction of allowed, not allowed?
Yes.
How are you moving in life? What are you saying? Like, you're not, nothing's.
It's for curiosity, isn't it? And I have a need that needs to be met. Someone, someone attend to my need. And generally your needs were met.
They're showing right now. They're showing right now in the field. I don't know. How old is your youngest daughter?
One.
What? Okay. Well, they're showing, I think, her reaching up like this, right? And like an answer to the allowed, not allowed. And I'm thinking, oh, that's so neat, because without any concept of allowed or not allowed, of course I'm going to fucking reach. Of
Mm.
course I'm going to reach. Of course I'm going to ask. Of course I'm going to stretch. Of course I am going to say, love me.
And
Like,
she
it's my
barks very
nature.
loudly.
It's my nature to say, love me.
Yeah.
Right. And then we look at, well, how do we get to this weird plane of existence where it's a crime to say, love me? It's you know, the hierarchies involved in that and all of that. What if our highest job was to actually reach out in every single thing we do and say, love me? And not in a give me, right? From this place of, because I'm sure that your beautiful 1-year-old like, no one's told her that that would ever be a problem. And clearly she knows it's her nature, right? Like, how great to see. It's so beautiful to see in small children, like how they're rocking their nature, like they're owning it. There's no problem with it. Ugh, you
It
know?
is. Especially when you can see the duality of there are children who at that age already know they're not allowed. And so they don't put their arms up and say, hold me, love me,
Mm.
go to retreat and self-soothe. So it's
Yeah.
like this love is being beaten out of us younger and younger. And so this concept of going back
Yes.
to hands out, love me is so beautiful and so needed. And it's a
Yes.
concept I haven't, the way you've explained it, I'm like, that's so true. It's so true, but
Yeah.
we don't think about that. Like, so I love that you've brought this to the forefront so that people can actually start reflecting on what would their life be like if they were hands out, love me, and for themselves, but also to be that person for somebody else. Like to know that your child or someone that you love can say, love me. And you'd be like, of course. It's not even a question. It's like, come here.
Mm-hmm.
And yet a lot of the conversation is, oh, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you tell me? And it's, oh, it's like, I know you're busy and you've got a lot on your plate. I didn't want to. I'm not allowed.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm.
I like the reflection of that too, though, right? Like our world being, the mirror. So if we're walking around saying, love me, we also have a world that, like, to really see that quest and hear that request underneath everything anyone's ever saying to you. Girlfriend calls you up and says, hey, want to get pizza tonight? Love me. To hear that underneath.
It
Hey,
makes
do you have time to chat? Love me. I'm really sorry that I barked at you yesterday. Love
mm,
me. It's like to hear, because back to intuition, we know what I'm saying is true. And it's back to, how long are we going to play this there's no pink elephants in the room kind of game? It's like, we know that we know that we know that's the final frontier, the real quest, why we came, what we're here to do and be and express as.
mm. What do you believe? Because I know in my own exploration, and I know a lot of people see life this way, is that our soul chose to come at this time and that we all have a soul purpose. And what do you see as that reality? Especially for you as well. You came here to be here at this time to love people, even though, according to Chiron, you don't deserve to exist. Um,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
that means for you.
Well, for me, you're making me think of, do you know who Byron Katie is? Are you
Uh,
familiar with her work?
yeah.
Okay. Byron Katie created what's known as the work. And yeah, she's just, love her to death, love her stuff. She at one point had talked about her daughter being at one of her events or something. And I'm trying to share the story with potentially people not knowing exactly what the work is. But the gist was, her daughter had said to her, basically, you sucked at mothering me. Like that was a problem. And Katie's work is all about undoing lies and realizing how many concepts we bought hook, line, and sinker and are killing ourselves with. And she said something really potent to her daughter. She said, mother yourself, dear. Which, the normal person would be like, what a bitch, right? And her daughter, though, I wasn't there. This is as the story goes. Her daughter said that it was the most potent thing her mom ever could have done. Like it broke her free because she realized that her freedom had nothing to do with and it made all the sense in the world too. Like, who better to mother me than myself? Like, don't I know better than anybody what's missing, what's real, what needs help, what doesn't, what's been claimed, what has? I mean, holy shit, talk about throwing someone an accountability ball. And so I feel like with the, my Chiron, with the, the right to exist, so much of my world showed me why I didn't have the right to exist. I didn't see what other people saw. I was very different in a lot of ways. I certainly didn't think how my family thought. And like, I had a choice to completely splash out the fire, right? Or learn literally, like, hey, there's a fire here and you could stomp it out, but it just might invert so deeply it kills you, right? Or you're going to have to learn how to be the hearth. I mean, you're going to have to learn that. And that's about me. Well, first of all, getting the hell back into my body, right? And really, I feel like I want to say two things here. That's interesting. Really, working into, well, what does it mean to really belong? What does it mean to really exist? And because I was very much in tune with the energy of trying to get out of my body. Like, it was not safe to be in my body. It wasn't safe to be in my tribe. I was like, oh my God, you can't get, like, even if you get out of the tribe or this, you'll never get out of this, right? So it was pretty, like, you got to create your own hearth here for this fire. And so that then became the work. But if that's the work and we become our own hearth, right? Then we're not afraid of our own fire. And when you're not afraid of your own fire, you're not trying to burn other people's houses down. You're not trying to, like, there's just no need because you're a self-sufficient fire. So I feel like, and I have this conversation oftentimes with a lot of people, and I say, at the end of the day, I know what I know, and I know what I was given. And I've got a choice. I can believe that my source fucked up so hard and, like, should have just thrown me in the dumpster from the get-go. Or I'm created exactly as I was supposed to be created, with the exact point of views, the exact understandings, and the exact light and information that flows through me like crazy from the source field itself to be utilized and shared, etc., in whatever way this divine entity expresses it. And I don't mean that in because I think people can take that to a negative tilt too, like, oh, well, that sounds like let everybody destroy things too. I don't mean it in that way. Because I think when we are balanced in that way, yeah, people who fucking love themselves don't hurt people. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. There's no impulse to do that. And the well is full, the well is not dry. It's not dry. So, yeah, the why, I mean, jury's still out. I feel like there's so many different, this is part of life, and then this, and then this, and this. And again, that's all to me just sort of stuff and adventures that cultivated. But do you really love yourself as deeply as you could, Diana? And then I'll see the places where it's like, baby's making more room in the womb to come out further, right? And then I try and shoot in those directions as best I can.
Yeah. So it's almost like the deeper you love yourself and explore the depths and parameters of the love that you have for yourself, the more that you're actually here to give that to the world as well, or to your community, or to your people, or connect people to the same level of devotion or love to self. which, because you're leading by example, right? In loving yourself, you're being an example of what's possible to other women. And other women look at you and they experience your joy or your curiosity, and they're like, I want more of that. What does that look like for me?
Yeah, and I think that in this climate specifically, like I've joked for years with people about having a tagline that basically the gist was I help people fall madly in love with who they already are and the life they already have. And then my friends are like, oh, that's hilarious. No one's going to buy that. I'm like, I know. That's why it's not a tagline. Like people are high on the crack shit and the stuff that, you know, but it is what I help people do.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's almost disappointment in, oh, you mean I really am? Good. Yeah, you are. And I really do love my life. I'm just wearing the wrong glass. Yeah, pretty much in a lot of ways. And that doesn't mean you don't expand or whatever, right? But I think I see people, you know, of course, the whole alignment categories. So crazy for so many people. And I think people forget that alignment is about alignment with this moment. So anything I'm fighting in this moment is a problem when it comes to anything in the future I want to create. I think, you know, everyone's really big on project your future self, project your, oh, for fucking A's sake. How about be here right now and notice what you're fighting? Notice what isn't so delicious to you right now in this moment. And goddamn it, make love to it. For real. Smooth it out because you're buying into some bullshit. If you're fighting with something here, I think that's the work.
Well,
the biggest work.
I mean, if you look at how society is set up, we're conditioned to look to the future and build towards that so that we're disconnected from the now. Because anyone who's connected with themselves in the present is a powerful fucking human being. And we don't want.
I was just going to say, to finish what you just said there, right? Anyone who's really connected to the now, they're also not falling over themselves, buying a bunch of shit they don't need that they're just throwing out 10 seconds later because, yeah.
Is this thing on, ladies?
Is this working? It's the whole, I was talking to someone who I worked with, a coach that I worked with a number of years ago. And we were just talking about the craziness that is, especially here in the US. And I said, you know, we were just philosophizing about ways to work things out. And I said, well, in general, my come from is polarized universe, dual reality. There's no up without down. There's no left without right. There's no good without bad. I was like, can we agree on that? She's like, yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. So since that's actually the state of it, are we really so unwise as to believe that we can make shit tons of money lying to people, dismissing people, marginalizing people, harming people, poisoning people, scaring the shit out of people? And we can't turn that wave into a tsunami going in the opposite direction and 10 times the amount of profit, loving people, empowering people, lifting people, rejoicing in people, committing to people, arms around all the people, unifying with people, one with people. Preach. And so we wait, right? That's the.
Well, can I give another visual of this? Because as you know, this is like literally my life's work. If you take a person and you deplete them of love and connection and energy and zest for life, there's only so much they can contribute to society or community. And then you take a person and you fill them and you fulfill their needs, you take care of their needs, you fill them with love, you fill them with joy, with opportunities, with experiences, with connection, with a beautiful a zest for life, and they will like a million times fold their contribution to society and the community. And for some reason, like you said, we're really caught up on the whole, no, let's deprive, let's deprave, let's extract everything we can from humanity and then let them fight amongst themselves. And we'll take the profits.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, we know, and anybody who's, how do I say that because I really don't mean to speak it from a diss on anyone who's lost in the dark in the moment, right? Yeah. There's, my point of view is I really don't believe, and this is what I find interesting about the money issue that we're discussing here too. We see the addiction, right? It's with getting more. It's like, give me more billions, give me more. I need another hit. And then we have even crazier shit developing because that hit's never enough. It's like the Coke's not flowing. It's not getting me high like it used to. And instead of doing what most people do, like wake up, move into self-realization, right? It's still trying to get that high. But one would think, well, coming back to what I really believe I know to be true, there's not enough money in the world. This is the part I don't get. There's not enough money in the world to keep anyone safe. Safety is not a money move. And so you could hoard everything, lock I'm sorry, it's not, that's not the name of the game. But it's also, see, I think this is where I wish people had great understanding too, especially a lot of people who are very lost in the darkness right now, is that I gain when I give to you. What I do for you, I do for me. What I do, right, to you, I do to me. And I really get that. It's really challenging to see how, yeah,
it is. And it's by design. It is very much by design. And so when we were having conversations and I was explaining to you my desire for a matriarchal society and communities, and also for, well, how the conversation went was I was explaining to you why I value mystics so much. And I truly believe that mystics are the gateway or the gatekeepers of divine wisdom. And so when we can really be in the presence of a mystic, someone who is devoted and committed to their gifts, their crafts, their ability to connect to source, to field, and we honor and respect that connection, and we have conversations and they bring through really powerful wisdom that they have access to because they've opened themselves up to have access to that. We then gain knowledge and wisdom that so many people don't have access to. And yet we're in the presence of a mystic who has devoted her channel to have access to that, right? And so big part of why I wanted to create Mystics Unhinged is I wanted to create an opportunity for women to have access to divine wisdom, information, source, field, so that they could take that into themselves, into their own lives, and potentially look at ways to integrate it, make change, connect with themselves, deepen their relationship with themselves, with their reality. And then you said, which is what I love, which we talked about earlier, like everyone's connected. And I know this to be true, but I also know that there was a very long period in my life where I was very disconnected from my intuition. And when I started to open my channel, when I started to connect with my intuition, my human brain, my conditioned human brain was like, you're making it up. that you're making that up. No, we're not going to follow that urge because that urge is dangerous. There's no proof, there's no evidence, because we're conditioned to believe everything has to have proof and evidence. And so a really big part of creating a matriarchal society or matriarchal communities is that women are allowed to come back to themselves and are allowed to reconnect with their.
I love the way you're pronouncing allowed. I love that. I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just like, yeah, girl, vocalize that. That's the good
Yes,
word.
you gave me the word, right?
No, well, I just reflected it back to you. Yeah,
That's what I said. Like you're the way you do language, the way you, because I'm a wordy person, right? And I can go, blah, blah, blah. I can put 1,000 words in order for myself to feel like I can explain. And then you come in and you give it one word, and I'm like, that's it. That's what I've been trying to say. So it really is a really beautiful gift. So yes, allowed to reconnect with a part of themselves that's inherent. Like we're all born, especially women, womb wisdom. We're all born with intuition. And so that's why I was excited to have this conversation with you, because you understand this deeply and profoundly. And I want women to access the codes of your medicine, which is your strength and your connection with something greater, and your ability to reflect that back to people, and your ability to stay strong and devoted to it, even though it's uncomfortable. And just your genuine, like, your kindness, your love of people, it really, really shines through in the way that you just show up. And so I'm really valuing this.
Oh, thank you. I feel like back to the existence, you don't, what a horrible, like even when I read the kind, I was like, huh, that's a shitty way to frame it. That's a little hardcore. You don't have the right to be like, how do you get out of that? I mean, there's only so many closets you can hide in, you know what I mean? And then the efforts of that hide, and all of that. And you were talking about, what do you believe you came here, right? Like you had beliefs around purpose and why you're here. I really, and I'm so grateful for this. And I would always just bet the farm, and I don't care who you are. You sit in front of me, I will tell you who you are. I will tell you what your gold is. I will, that fire will just be because, and I think, like inner child wise, right? I think part of me developed the ability to see the special ray of light and to be able to thank God the field gives me the words to tell people, to show it and reflect it back. And typically in a way where people are like, fuck, I can't even hide that anymore. Why did you have to say it that way? Oh my God, now what am I going to do? Now I'm going to have to, you know what I mean? But I love that as the wounded little girl who didn't think she was allowed to exist as she was, right? Who didn't, who the world let it be known, you really don't belong in that form, in that way, with seeing things in this way and speaking things that, because I think that little girl was like, oh, yes, I fucking do. And I refuse to let another human being sit in that reflection of not being allowed. That's the most insane thing I've ever heard. Get them in this courtroom. I'm going to lawyer up. And here we go. Let's bring that light out. And I think that's a big part of the challenge too, back to why aren't women professing, yeah, I'm intuitive. Yes, I see this and this and this and this. Why aren't they speaking their truth? Well, they're not allowed to. And they're not allowed to be this and that. They're not allowed to be this individual ray of light that they are, whether they like it or not.
Yes.
And so I think this time is really demonstrating It's like we know this and we can give this words here, right? But especially this time with the climate of things, it's demonstrating I'm done pretending to be this shade or that shade of light. I'm done doing the mimic game. I'm done trying to be how you see me needing to be. Like, what is that anyway?
Mm. Yes, what is that? I feel
Yeah.
we all have a deeper understanding of what that is. And I'm curious to know, because you have such a beautiful way of reflecting back the light. And there are so many women, including women who are in the school community and including women who are going to be tuning into this podcast forever and ever. Amen. I really want them to receive the light that you have to reflect back to them. And I want it to be completely uncensored, with the full knowing that we're not damsels in distress. We are strong, capable women. We can hear the truth, even if it's uncomfortable. And sometimes the uncomfortable is hearing how amazing we are or how capable we are, right? We're like, oh, well, I'm not that capable because ... And it's like, you have a beautiful gift of reflecting back what's truly available. And I really want women to hear what is actually underneath all the layers, underneath, what is available to women for them in this day and age. What is a greater purpose for all?
One of the first terms that lights up like in the field that you were, I was like, oh, because I don't really have an affinity toward it either. But we can't miss, and this is not a judgment on it, because everybody's been drinking the toxic soup, right? And we were all brought up on damsel in distress, you know?
Yep.
And that's the first piece that wants to unwind, because if we took, they're showing like a crib of little girls reaching for the damsel in distress, and they're like, if we took that toy out of the crib, what would you play with? What would you play with? What would you play with? Right? Because you would reach for something, and what would you notice in the vicinity? What would you notice within the four walls and beyond the four walls? Ask me your question again, just say it in a different way. We're tuned in. Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah. Because the field's going. So
I love the visual of taking the toy out. And at the moment, I feel women, if you took the toy of damsel in distress out, women would be like, then who the fuck am I? And what do I play with? I don't know. Like, what am I allowed to play with? And so
notice too, with who the fuck am I? Notice, like, everyone tune into this. Let's just play an energy game, right? So tune in this moment, feel damsel in distress in your body. Feel the energy of getting to be that. All the ties, everything, just all the content and the conditions, associated with that, connected to that. Damsel in distress. What it feels like to be her. Play like her. Role play like her. Be seen like her. Experience like her. And now feel the energy of, I don't know who the fuck I am. Who the fuck am I? And who am I? And really, who am I? And if I go down even deeper and even deeper and even deeper, who am I? What am I? And everywhere you hit a fucking label, keep going. And what am I? And what am I? And what am I? And who told you it wasn't okay to not know? In word, in title, in label. To not know who the fuck you are. Who told you that wasn't okay? Who told you to reach for the limitation? Oh, I mean title. Nope, I mean limitation. And who do you get to satisfy when you are satisfying the role of damsel in distress? Who wants you to be that? Who saw you as being that? Who taught you it was safe to be that? And how many ways does that title and reaching for that title, reaching for that role playing that in this lifetime, in how many ways does that limit your ability to love you, to free you, to create as you, the real you, the real you, the real you that is the answer to who am I? What am I? Who am I? What am I? And if I had a choice to obliterate every last aspect, ounce, limitation, condition associated, and reward actually associated with damsel in distress, what would that feel like in my body? To no longer walk, talk, feel, express as damsel, damsel, damsel. And why do I want someone to come save me? And who's going to come save me? And of all the people that could come save me, who do I really want to come save me? That if that one person came and saved me, really saved me, I could love myself again completely. And just call into your energy field right now every last limitation associated with damsel, with participating in that, with encouraging others to that, with celebrating the damsels. Like, what if we stop celebrating the damsels? And I don't mean like we do the contrary and we throw monkey poop at the damsels. Not that. We call them back to their truth as well. Because anyone who's playing damsel just got sucked into that limitation too. And from a point of survival. And so seeing all the damsels as yourself and saying, you know what? I'm not just going to rescue me, baby. I'm coming for you too. One for all. All as one. I get it. I am you. 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 Let's throw all that damsel energy into the fire. The same fire that allows us to be limitless and shine as the unique ray of light we came here to shine as. No one is the same stream of that light as you. And so that's the big turnover. That's the big quest. Everybody gets to shine that unique ray. And whoever told you you couldn't, you shouldn't, don't, not the source of you. And that ray attaches to the very source of you, the all of you. So who are you going to listen to? Who are we going to listen to? They're showing me this piece that I'd written a while ago. It's like a belonging theme. I'm kind of just going to quickly roll it in as an activation. I just want you to sort of drink this into your own unique ray of light. Take it deep into the core of your being, solar plexus, heart chakra, throat, root, and really let it deeply root. Take this as a pledge. I am safe inside this skin, my essence vast, my soul built in. These wings were never wrong or flawed. They are the way I move with God. You are safe inside this skin, this unique ray of light that you shine as. Your essence vast, your soul built in. Your wings, your one and only wings, were never wrong, were never flawed. They are the way you move, not just with God, but as God. And so it is, and so it be, aligning you throughout all time and space and time to this truth, this understanding, this knowing, this expression, and this beautiful, unique ray of light that you be, that shines straight out from the one. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. So, Samantha, you're making me think, in a world without damsels, what exists? What do you see?
I see a collective force field. So as I was going through that process with you, and you were like, go deeper, go deeper, go deeper. If there's a label there, go deeper, go deeper. And then it ended up being like morphing into literally the universe, source field. And we're all one. And we know that, right? We're all one. We know that, but we don't feel that. And so if there's no damsel in distress, there's no hierarchy, there's no triangular structure that we need to climb. There's no separation, there's no disconnect. It's literally that we are all one. And how that manifests in human form, whether we're man, woman, or child, is that we're all held, we're all one, we're all important, we're all together, and we kind of move in flow with each other, because it's the damsel that's creating the hierarchy, that's creating the disconnect. So when there's no damsel, that's what I see.
I love that too. So there's like this triad that's coming into the field, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. So I was asking you the question, like, what's in the world without the damsels? And then I guess internally I was asking, how did that shit get going anyway? And the field was like, you know the game Telephone when you were a kid? Did you ever play that game, Telephone? It was like you'd sit in a circle with a group of kids. That might just be an America thing. But you would whisper something in the kid's ear, the first kid, and then they would take the statement and somebody in the circle would botch it. And by the time you got to the end, the whole statement, right? And
We
call
called
it
it
like the
Chinese
bad.
whispers. I don't know why it's
Okay.
Chinese whispers, but that's what we call it.
Okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah. They used to call it telephone here.
Yeah.
And so but the way it comes in is there was like very strong male energy that comes in, and there was a speaking to of somewhere along the way, saving someone, like a woman, saving someone, and the hit that people get from that, right? It's almost like saving came up where what was supposed to be there, the origin piece, it didn't play out. And so something got, like with the telephone game, it was like the initiate was to love them, never to save them, right? But people started going for the savior thing, right? And now we've got all the dynamics of the thrill and just the craziness of being human with that. But saving and without Damsel, right? Then there's no one to save. And then what's it like when we're in a world where there's no one to save? And I feel like I'm like brought back to the Byron Katie thing with her daughter, right? Because in essence, she said, save yourself, honey. I mean, in essence, that's what she said to her. Mother yourself, save yourself. And it wasn't a bitchy, I don't like that. That was never the energy. It's I love you enough to tell you the truth. Like we're looking at truth here, not concept. So I feel like that's the world that becomes available when, and I don't want to say when we choose to save ourselves, because that's the myth. That's what becomes available when we choose to love ourselves. And I don't know why we're so afraid to utter that fucking word. Like, what is wrong with the L word, for God's sake? You know, it's just, it's funny, but we'll do anything. Oh, I'll save you. I won't love you, but I'll save you, because loving you, whoa, that's a little too, what, intimate, wild, perfect, harmonious, everything. Yeah.
I wonder if it's also, if we're buying into Damsel and we're buying into, I want someone to save me. And if we have a realization of it's not about being saved, it's about loving ourselves, then we're not special anymore. Because that's another narrative that we've been fed, is that in order to be seen, in order to be special, you've got to play into the damsel, right? The more of a damsel I am, and I play that part really well, the more attention I get, and the more people see me, and the more I feel held and met and witnessed. And even though it's in the wrong context, but we're at a point where we're so disconnected that people don't see each other. I literally shared a post about this yesterday where I did a call out to be held or to be met, and no one showed up. And it's not because anyone was bad or wrong. It's that we're so busy being our own damsel and wanting everyone else to meet us, that to be there for someone else.
And when you say call out, do you mean like online on social media?
It was in a group.
Call out?
It was in a group.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to say, yeah, that or the algorithm. It's like, oh, we don't like that post. It's not controversial enough.
I actually did have a video, someone on there, Andrea, who's one of the mystics. She's like, did you do it like publicly? Because it could be an algo thing. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
It was
flagged for being too, I don't know,
vulnerable,
human, evolutionary. Yeah.
Real. Yes. And so I wonder if there's a bit of that dynamic playing into, because in order for growing up, in order to be special, you had to stand out in some way. Just part of the whole, we could go into the history and the trajectory of it, but growing up as a child, in order to be seen, right, with your siblings, there was always the perfect golden child, and then everyone else had to come up to their standards, or there was the rebel child. And so there was there's all these roles and dynamics that in order to be seen or witnessed or held or met, we had to play a role. And so I'm just wondering if a big part of why women don't want to love themselves is because we're tired and we just want we just want someone to come in and say, you're amazing. It could actually just be that simple.
I mean, I think that can be a piece. I think it's also those women that are probably the least likely to receive that, and for good spiritual cause. I would say that maybe spirit loves you just a little too much and isn't going to let you get away with that. Because there's nothing worse than having this transactional love affair that isn't even love to begin with. And I think that's part of what's getting dismantled now too, is, are you done trying to get your approval hit? Are you done being the last person to look yourself in the eye and say, oh my God, I fucking love you? You know?
I do know.
Yeah. And it's the key. I mean, my God, we all grew up on that. I used to always like, you know, the Cinderella and the all that fairy tale stuff. And I had a lot of girlfriends that were into it. So I don't mean a diss by it, but I was just I out of all the so-called princesses, my favorite was Snow White, which is like the least anything. And the reason I liked Snow White, she hung out with Dopey, sleep. Like, it's very telling, actually. I should have known I'd be doing what I'm doing in this life. Just look at my history as a kid with Snow White. What did you like? She embraced everyone from every corner of mood, shape, whatever, and was like, follow me, I'll love you. I mean, she was just the coolest thing in my mind. Yeah, but so much of it's is definitely the condition. And this is just the biggest piece is, I think the reason so much of the stability is playing out is we are just getting smacked against the wall hard enough to finally say, like, I'm willing to now do all the things that I've been trying to put on my world and all on others and never really fully step into, never really care to, you know, caretake my own fire in a way where you can come join me by the fire, you can stay where you are. I'm inviting you from love and I'm releasing you from love. But there's no attachment aversion going on, right?
Yeah.
I thought I saw someone pop up in the chat. Did
I
I?
was just checking. I was just checking if we had a
Oh,
question today. No question today. I think you've answered all the questions in your amazing expression of self.
oh,
And I love this. I've loved this conversation so deeply. And for women who want to be in your world more, because it's a very potent world, how can they work with you?
you can holler at me through, you mean in terms of connecting or just how to work?
Both.
Oh, okay. Facebook. You can just hit me a messenger or just friend me on Facebook, or you can go to dianabertoldo.com and jump on my list there. Also on Instagram, which I rarely use. I'm such not a social media.
Low
Can you tell?
key, low key.
Yeah, I'm pretty yeah, my energy, I don't know. It doesn't love to bebop all over the
You
the
imagine
social
that
media
people
realms.
find you anyway.
Say that again?
I imagine people find you anyway.
Yeah, it's not we have to go where I think that's part of the climate now too, right? Like, I feel like our social media is so very different than it was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, right? To
Yeah.
me, I'm almost let's live a little more outside of that realm, of that container.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can
But yeah,
even
there's lots
heavier.
of different ways in terms of working. There's so many different ways. So if you holler at me, you just private message me. Um, yeah, I can give you lowdowns. Yeah. Oh,
And
there's also the Freedom Alchemist group on Facebook that you could jump into. But again, if you just DM me, yeah.
I love that. I'll add those links as well to the show notes so that people can find you through the show notes as well.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. But I love that so much. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for the depths of these conversations.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for having me and yeah, just playing here. Yeah.
Absolutely. I would really love to hear from everyone and anyone who listens to this podcast episode, especially after going through the process that you took us through. I would love to hear what people's experience of that was. Just the question.
I would love to remember what that was. I'm like, wait, where is it?
Yeah, well, that's when you know you're really connected to source, right? When you're not fully present in the moment and it's all flowing through. But essentially,
Yeah.
you were taking us beneath the labels of like, who the fuck am I? And that blew
Yeah.
my mind because I was like, I've never gone that deep before, and oh my gosh, he's right.
Yeah.
I'm not a label. I'm not a thing. Yeah.
Which is funny to me, considering where we started out. I think before we even started recording, right? Let's not do titles. I was kind of being flippant, really.
Yep.
So yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. Divine.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. This was so much fun, Samantha.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, lovely. And I look forward to everyone receiving this incredible podcast episode with you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, gorgeous woman, for rising with us, remembering with us, and refusing to shrink inside a world that benefits from your silence. If this episode moved you, cracked you open, or reminded you of who the hell you are becoming, share it with a woman who is ready to rise too. I want to invite you to follow, subscribe, and leave a rating so this message becomes too loud, too wild, and too undeniable to be ignored. The movement grows because of women like you. Women who choose truth over comfort, liberation over obedience, and voice over disappearance. You can connect with me, Samantha Sanford, at Rebel Matriarch, and all links to our guest are in the show notes below. Until next time, stay rooted, stay rebellious, and remember, the world changes when women refuse to disappear.